My name is Professor Stephen Butterman. I am the director of the Portuguese program here in the Department of Modern Languages and Literatures at the University of Miami. And I am here to speak a little about the virtual immersion programs, the VIP programs that exist in my department and at the university. I'm very happy with the whole trajectory that we've experienced as a department is something that emerged out of a like the best things in life. Some things happen by chance, and this was an event that emerged from the participation of a Fulbright teaching assistant of FLTA, Dr. Maisa Zakir, who was with us for a couple semesters here at the university. And one of her most important contributions out of many was to get the University of Miami connected with Teletandem, which is a project founded by Dr. João Teles at Unesp, the Universidade Estadual Paulista, Unesp, in São Paulo, in Brazil, and has since involved the inclusion of several languages that Modern Languages and Literatures offers. We started with Portuguese and piloting the programs and have gradually moved into Spanish, moving into French, and hopefully other languages as well. The advantages of the virtual immersion program for our students have been incredible, frankly, qualitatively as well as quantitatively. They're starting to do some research, thanks very much to the participation of our lab coordinator, Dr. Rashida Primov, on how the experience of virtual immersion, and in particular the one-on-one teletandem sessions, enhance not only the work, the aptitude, the achievement, but I would say especially the self-confidence, the perceived notions of competence of being able to perform in a foreign language. Our students have developed in ways that are, to my mind, immeasurable. Elements around self-esteem and self-confidence in speaking a foreign language, in speaking to a native or heritage speaker of a foreign language as well, are really inestimable. And these are advantages that go beyond the results that we may evaluate on a test or a quiz. My perception of the incredible value of the program is not only academic in nature, but also affective, in having our students interact with colleagues and classmates that are of their age, that are ideally pursuing similar fields of study, and have the sort of one-on-one interaction that the classroom cannot afford, as far as time, space, geography, and various other factors. Very proud of the VIP program. I'm also extremely proud of the work that Dr. Rashida Primov, Dr. Leila da Costa, the support of our chair, Dr. Lilian Mansour, in bridging the pedagogical projects with academic studies on virtual immersion, and how the field has opened in significant dimensions internationally. So we talk about modern languages and literatures, and by extension the University of Miami and certainly the College of Arts and Sciences, as promoting global literacy. And I think one of the advantages of the VIP program is that it basically puts our goals and our objectives on an accessible and a human level, where students can really get to know one another and practice within the target languages that we offer in the department, and also develop connections and relationships with their counterparts in other parts of the world. So if I if I were still a student, I see myself as always a student, but if I were still in a situation where I was in a foreign language or second language acquisition classroom, um, I would be very shy, as I am by nature, and probably reluctant, as some students may have been at the beginning, because there is another human being on the other side of that virtual connection, and that's always a little bit scary at first. And once the participation begins, realizing that this is an incredibly unique opportunity to be yourself in another language and discover other dimensions of that self or those selves that may not even exist in your maternal language, for example. So I've really seen students thrive. I'm a great believer in study abroad, and I feel like the virtual immersion programs is kind of a step in that direction when a student may not have the resources or the access to actually going on a study abroad program, or if the university does not have those structures in place. Not that a virtual immersion program can replace or substitute study abroad, which I think is not possible to substitute in any other form. The experience of immersion in a culture that is not one's own is an incredibly humbling and enriching experience. But I think that Teletandem and other similar virtual immersion technologies allow the student to have an immersive experience at the same time as is promoting a sense of cooperation and collaboration, uh, given the fact that in an ordinary Teletandem session, for example, half of the session is conducted in the target language that our students are working in, and the other half of the session is conducted in English, which would be the target language of acquisition for the student on the other side of Skype, of the Skype screen. Um, so I'm very excited to see the future of virtual immersion programs is unlimited. We have hosted now two international conferences on ImFlight, which is the sort of academic scholarly part of colleagues who study quantitatively and qualitatively from various perspectives, whether that be second language acquisition, sociolinguistics, gender studies, gender theory, various fields of interdisciplinary involvement that come together in supporting the infrastructure that feeds the scholarly part of the program. And has been, with the support of our chair, Dr. Mansour, and our dean, Dean Bacchus, and others at the university, and with my colleagues, we have been able to inaugurate here at the University of Miami the very first international conference dedicated to virtual immersion technologies. And it was so successful, I'm happy to say, the first time around, that we were able to bring the second international conference here to the university last month. I'm very proud of the co-organizers of the event, and I'm always think it's important to give credit where credit is due, and that credit goes especially to Dr. Rashida Primov and Dr. Leila da Costa, my colleague in the Portuguese program, who have beautifully orchestrated these pioneering events that are making an impact already in the field. Academically, as there will be a published collections coming from this. Pedagogically, to enhance the classroom experience beyond the classroom for our students, and socially, socioculturally, that students can work with their peers independent of borders. In modern languages and literatures, we talk about learning without borders, and this is one of the concrete ways that we can actually fulfill our goal of breaking down walls and borders and having students transmit information, knowledge, experience across the globe, sharing that information and challenging each other in very constructive ways in a language that is not one's own. And for me, it's very exciting.